Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's me, Mr. Cameraman, and today we are talking about X2. So I've been very excited to get up to this movie. I reviewed X-Men 2000 a few days ago. This is part of my Everyday July videos. So, like I explained at Fan Film Fest, all of these videos are pre-recorded. This is made in early May. So I just watched X2. I'm very excited to talk about it. I don't think I have much to say before I get into it, except for the fact that if I ever call this a fan film, I'm referring to the actual film. But when I reviewed X-Men 2000, I just came out of reviewing a fan film. So, I mean, if I say fan film, I mean movie, I mean film. Yeah, let's talk about this thing. This is probably... A lot of people think that this is the best X-Men film. I've heard many people think that this is the best X-Men film. It isn't. I'm going to just say that right now. This is not the best X-Men film. I think it's this and X-Men Days of Future Past that are like two of like the people. Everyone thinks that those are the two best. They're not. I have a lot to say when I eventually get up to those films. But this film, I think, the biggest issue. I can't wait to talk about those later films and then come back to this, but my biggest issue with this is I think it's very good. I will say, Nightcrawler in this is probably one of the best parts of it. And not just Nightcrawler. I'm kind of like jumping around here. I think that this film, first, I think what hooked me is the intro. As much as I liked the intro in the first one, I personally am a sucker for these X-Men intros. This Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, I've not rewatched anything past this point yet. I've not seen those movies in years except for First Class, because that's one of my favorite films of all time, but I'll get up to that when I get up to that. But these intros are so good. Especially, in my opinion, I really went into this expecting to really love the intros of Future Past and Apocalypse. I think it's pretty widely agreed that those are the best intros. But I actually like this one a lot more, and I think it really hooks you in. I think the theme of this as well, I think it has the X-Men theme that I think is probably one of the most famous X-Men themes besides the X-Men 97 theme. It is such a good musical theme, especially for this live-action thing. I think as much as we all love the X-Men 97 music, that would not work in live action. I think we all know it. I think if we got it in live action, it would be cool the first time, but then past that point, it would kind of suck. Like, I think this musical theme, some of these musical themes are so much better. Probably one of my favorite parts of this film is the New Mutant additions. And I want to just start by saying, I don't think this film is bad. I think this is actually top 3 X-Men films. Title X-Men, not Deadpool, not Wolverine, not all that stuff. This is probably my... I don't know about I haven't rewatched the others yet, but I think that's all subject to change, but this has always really been my third place spot. And I think what part of my issues with this film is the fact that they actually introduced so many good mutants. Wolverine, we already have, he's good. Rogue, I don't think is bad. I don't think Rogue is very good either. But besides from those two, we get Bobby in this film, who I think is one of the best mutants we get in this trilogy. I think his arc in this film is probably one of my favorite arcs we get. I think his character is done so well in this film. I love meeting him. I think his powers are very fun, especially in contrast with Pyro's, another one of my favorite characters. I love getting introduced to those characters in this film. I believe they're introduced in this film. I don't believe they were in X-Men 1. Even if they were, they had no role then. But I loved seeing them in this film, and I think I really liked him going home to his parents, admitting that he's mutant, and that whole fight. I really liked the dynamic between Pyro and Iceman, Bobby, and more importantly, I really like Bobby as a character. I love his scenes. I like his scene with Wolverine in the X-Mansion. I like Pyro, as I said. I also love Nightcrawler. He's such a fun character in this. And I think they introduce a ton of good mutants that I enjoy watching in this film, and I also enjoy watching them in Last Stand. I remember, the only thing I remember from Last Stand is the fact that I remember seeing Bobby and being happy. Like, that's genuinely all that I remember. But as much as I remembered liking Bobby as a character, which I very much remember enjoying him as a character, I hope that he's still a good, like, I hope he's good in X-Men 3, because I remember hating that film. But more importantly, I think that this character and Nightcrawler and Pyro are such good additions to this film and this universe, but it takes away from Storm, Cyclops, Jean Grey, so many terrible characters that have no chance to get better. I was pretty lenient towards Charles Xavier in the last film in review. This time, Magneto and Charles are pretty terrible. Like, they have good actors, and I think that's why people enjoy them. But besides from the fact that they have good actors, they're not very good on screen. Like, they don't really do much. They don't have very good character development. And I didn't really care to see either of them on screen, especially Magneto. I didn't love, but I liked Professor X. But Magneto, I could not stand. He was just terrible in this. The villain, I actually enjoyed. I didn't love, but I enjoyed him. I liked the final. I think this film is paced very well. I like the X-Mansion scene. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in the film, if not my favorite. And definitely my favorite. And I also like the entire climax of this film. I think the entire climax is very good. I also think Mystique is good. I like her more later, but I like her here. The entire climax of this film is very good. I think the X-Mansion battle is very good. But I think if we got more characterization in the first film for Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Storm, and Professor X, and Magneto, this film would be perfect. And oh my god, there's a bug. I just got jump scared. We're keeping that in, by the way. This is all one take. I want to make it clear. I don't edit these videos much. You get my raw reaction to these things. As I was saying, oh god, it's bright. This film, I think the first film does such a terrible job at making us care about the characters. I said that. They don't really give us characterization for these characters or anything like that. So I think my biggest issue with this film is the fact that they are introducing so many good mutants. We still have so many mutants that we should care about more that we don't get any characterization for. At this time, also X-Men 97 is currently wrapping up. And Cyclops is such a good character in it. Storm's a great character. Jean Grey is, like, good. So I wish that we got good iterations of all these characters on screen. And we just don't get that. Instead, we get these decent versions of these characters. And we kind of just have to accept that we're not going to get very good versions of them because they're never going to be characterized. Like, Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean's love triangle thing is cool, I guess. But as fun as it is in some scenes, we have no reason to care that there is something going on. Like, there's no reason for us to care, really, that this is a plot line. So, for me, at least, I don't really care that there is something going on. I personally wish that this film gave more characterization for a lot of these characters, because as much as I love seeing Bobby and Nightcrawler, I wish that I could be mostly invested in Cyclops and Storm and Jean Grey, the classic X-Men. But instead, I have to resort to these side characters that I think I only enjoy because they actually get development. I think if Bobby appeared in X-Men First Class, I think I would love him there, because that film is just incredible. But I don't think he would be nearly as good, or I'd care about him nearly as much than I do in this film, because we just don't get any other characters to latch onto. Wolverine's fun, but I don't care about Wolverine much. This is very much a Wolverine-centric film, but I still don't love him in this. He's fine. So I have no characters really to care about in this story. The biggest thing that I care about really is Bobby, Pyro, Nightcrawler, and in kind of whatever the plot does. And I think that's a huge issue that this film runs into that makes it so this can't be the best. If I cared about the side characters in this film, or the entire cast, therefore, if I liked the characters in this, and then we got the additions of a lot of great characters like Nightcrawler, like Bobby, like Pyro, then this film probably could be the best film. This could probably be the best. Actually, First Class is pretty much a masterpiece. I can't even deny it. First Class is incredible. I remember so much from it. That's incredible. But besides from that, this film could very much be, for some people at least, the best X-Men film. But I think people kind of forget that this film just doesn't give you a reason to care about most of these characters. And I just don't think it's very good. I think it's good. I think compared to most X-Men films, it's good. But because all of these X-Men films are ensemble, you really only get to care about a few of them. And this film does a great job adding characters, but it still doesn't give us a reason to care about a lot of the characters I want to care about. So I just wish that this film did that, but there's nothing we really can do. And I think that's all I have to say. This film's good. It's not great. I think it's solid. And that's all I have to say. It's better than X-Men 2000. And that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.